Hey Chip, let's do a systems check on the hub's memory banks. It's been a while since we did any sort of proper maintenance on those systems.
Aye, aye, Captain. Initializing memory systems check.
Thanks, buddy. Say, out of curiosity, how many portals did Dave watch over before the whole, incident with the Ultimate?
Several, according to my databanks. Anarchy Online, Asheron's Call, EverQuest, Dark Age of Camelot, Star Wars Galaxies, and a lot of others.
Aw, man, what a shame. And there's no way to get those portals back up?
That's a big negative, boss. Especially with our current state. I'm quite possibly the last remaining hub in existence. Even if I had the capabilities, it would require a monumentous... boss? We seem to be getting a transmission.
A transmission? From where?
Unknown. I'm unable to identify the source. In fact, the transmission seems to be encrypted. I've never seen anything...
Chip, what's going on?
I don't know, boss. Wait a second. That's not a transmission. It's a...
Well. Fancy meeting you lot here.
Oh, sweet mercy, it's that radio again. I thought we got rid of you ages ago.
Oh, you did. I've been floating across time and space for months, in fact. However, you find the most interesting things out there. In fact, I managed to run into something that remembers pathetic beings like you.
What are you going on about?
Let's just say I found the remnants of something truly ultimate.
What are you Oh, God. Oh, God, no. How is that even possible? I mean, he can't mean...
I'm afraid there's enough reason to be worried about that, boss. The readings I'm getting in my sensors... This Trojan horse of a transmission... It wasn't a transmission at all. It was an energy signature. A signature of pure, unadulterated evil. It's nothing but anger, disdain, and... vengeance.
What? But it can't be. It can't be the ultimate. Can it?
It's very much impossible, boss. But something survived. Kind of like when you use a mixer on cake batter on high, and the batter gets everywhere. I think the same thing happened with the Ultimate. It might not be the same entity, but...
Oh, that's better. It's been a long time since I had me a proper form, albeit one that isn't quite corporeal.
Oh, hi there. My name is Jim. This is Chip, and I don't suppose you can leave our hub systems, please?
Yeah, there's only room for one sentient being up in here.
Silence! I am now in control of this hub you seem to care so much about. You will do my bidding, or face my wrath.
Oh, yeah? Well, I ain't afraid of no disembodied voice. What are you gonna do? Nag me to death? Chip does that already.
Hey!
Oh? Very well. It seems I must show you, as the parlance says, who is in charge.
Warning! Self-destruct sequence initiated. Please evacuate the hub module at your earliest convenience. T-minus 20 seconds.
Wait a minute, you can't do that. She can't do that, can she?
I'm sorry, boss. She can, and she did.
Oh, Jiminy Christmas. What are we supposed to do?
I would advise you doing exactly what I say before your puny atoms get scattered across all time and space. Time is ticking, Cybernaut.
All right. I surrender. We'll do as you ask. Just don't blow us up.
Self-destruct sequence deactivated. You may now resume your day-to-day duties. Have a nice day.
Excellent. Then for our first order of business, I will have you play a game, fleshy one.
A game?
I have transferred this game to your hub's onboard memory banks.
Game obtained. Apparently it's an SNES game called Gym Power, The Lost Dimension in 3D.
But a SNES game? That's it? I mean, all right then. I guess we better get this show on the road. How you doing, everyone? It's your old pal Jim here, and we're back with a new game. A game I totally wanted to play off of my own volition, and it's called Gym Power: The Lost Dimension in 3D. Now, off the bat, I'm not sure what to make of this one. Never played it when I was a kid, and I only just heard about it for this review. I don't suppose this is maybe some sort of hidden gem? Oh, god damn it. It's gonna be one of those, huh? Well, before we go any further, I've learned my lesson with these old games. I'm gonna read me the instruction manual first.
Aw, he's learning. My nerd is actually growing up.
Ah, shut up, you tin can, you. Okay, so as to be expected, the manual lays out the entire narrative, which is located nowhere within the game itself. We play the titular character named Gym Power. Nice first name. The first bit of the manual boasts about the tech that they're going to be using within the game. Alright, let's see here. Gym Power: The Lost Dimension in 3D utilizes the revolutionary Nickabocker 3D to combine incredible game action with three-dimensional graphics, creating an astoundingly realistic game. Wait, what? Nickabocker? I don't even know how you pronounce it. The hell is that? Did they barf out random letters? Chip, explain.
Okay, so bear with me here, boss. Basically, what's being advertised here is the Pulfric effect. It's a psychophysical percept wherein lateral motion of an object in the field of view is interpreted by the visual cortex as having a depth component due to a relative difference in signal timings between the two eyes.
What?
It's basically an early form of 3D. You know, similar to when you would go to the movie theaters and they offer you some 3D classes. In fact, new sealed copies of the game had pairs of them bundled together.
Oh, well, alright then, I think. I suppose it was around the time when we were all going bananas over the concepts of 3D and virtual reality. I mean, we all remember how well the Virtual Boy did. The manual goes on to say that the three-dimensional effect is enhanced by the glasses, but glasses are not necessary for the virtual effect and is functional on any type of television or video monitor. Note: the stage's Guardian Castle and Time Tower do not utilize Nickabocker 3D, but incorporate the similar impressive Mode 7 graphics. Oh boy, I can't wait to play this gimmick. You know, I really find it highly amusing that they also include a whole page dedicated to folks who can't see the 3D effect. Check to make sure that the dark color filter is in the front of the left eye. You may be one of 10% of the population who has little to no 3D vision in everyday life and will therefore have no 3D vision in the game. Gym Power: The Lost Dimension may still be played without glasses, however. Oh, yeah, thanks, game. And in the next page, it's Galloping Galileo! It's a whole goddamn novel over here! Huh. Okay. Oh, here we go. Special Agent Gym Power. I guess they're kind of addressing him in this whole thing. The very universe itself is threatened with extinction. With an alien force, an evil being called Vaprak threatens all life in the known universe. This being has ambushed our fleet of warships and decimated them, and now promises to annihilate us. Our world, until now, has blocked a rift in a dimensional vortex that walls off billions of his brethren in a fifth and what was, as of late, lost dimension. If he succeeds in defeating us, he will destroy our world and open this rift, allowing his brethren to ravage galaxies. Further, this foreign dimension, which our third-dimensional world is unaccustomed to, seems to have a reality-distorting effect, causing unpredictable mutations on all organic life forms. Vaprak, who we have discovered serves as a guardian for this portal, has become too powerful for our shattered fleet to attempt a frontal assault. We realize that our only hope is to send in a lone human agent, too small for Vaprak's Omni-Eye scanners to detect, to slip past the big lasers and scanners and, hopefully, send him back to the lost dimension. We can... Oh my god, there's another page. Okay. We can equip you with a blaster, a jetpack, a unijet when you are underground beneath the enemy scanners, and a gyrocycle, as well as an energy suit powered with smart bombs. We will try and leave you weapons, but we can guarantee nothing. One more thing.
Oh, listen, there's one other thing I wanted to ask you about.
Oh, there's one more thing, sir.
Just one more thing, please.
Oh, just one more thing, sir.
One more thing. Powder of Komodo dragon tooth. One more thing. Picture of tortoise shell. One more thing. Castanets, the symbol of Cao Kuo Chu. In Chinatown?
Although we feel you have the best chance of success of any of our agents, this route is in some ways more dangerous than a direct frontal assault. Okay, wait. Tell me how that makes any sense. Anyway. We have sent in other agents before you. None have ever returned. It is imperative you succeed in this mission. We will not get a second chance. Good luck, Mr. Power. You are our last and only hope. Good gravy, that was like several cinematics worth in like this little booklet. Jeesh. Also, I want to have a few words with whoever decided to print all of that narrative on a slant. Yes, you have a very edgy and rad instruction manual, but at least let me read without having to either tilt the book or tilt my head. This map cost many spies their lives, but it will show you your location in respect to Vaprak, as well as give you an idea of what to expect. There are 7 checkpoints marked on the map. Okay, so more than likely we got about 7 levels to go through. That actually sounds quite beefy for a SNES game. I'm actually kind of curious. I don't like the sound of that. The manual also goes over the various items that you'll encounter along the way. Alright, so we got weapon pods that hold a bunch of items all at once, extra lives, extra time that's actually described as a cloaking device. The extra time item is actually a cloaking device? Wait, how does that make any sense? Chip, quick, analyze. Make this make sense.
Sorry, boss. Your guess is as good as mine. Mistype, maybe?
A mistype? More like this is starting to feel like a mistake overall. Let me see, we got power-ups that pumps up the power of your weapons, keys that unlock locked gates and doors, smart bombs that give you the ability to perform explodey special moves, and a spacesuit which is noted as to come with a jetpack. Oh, how nice of them. Ah, it's also good to know that the end-of-level score screen also comes at the cost of lives, but no price is too high, for if Jim fails in his task, the universe is doomed. Man, it's just gonna be weird calling the main character Jim, especially because this fella looks nothing like me. Oh, okay. So there's actually an explanation for why the clocks that give you more time are referred to as cloaking devices. Apparently when your timer runs out, you die immediately. This is because the game explains that its power getting discovered and Vaprak in all of his might just one-hit killing him as soon as he's discovered. The clock gives you more time before being discovered, aka extends the time of your cloak. Alright, so it's a nifty little spin on an age-old power-up. I can give them credit for that. The manual also explains that we get a total of 3 continues after we lose all of our lives on any given level. Once we use up those continues, it's game over and we have to start all the way back to the beginning of the game, regardless of how far we make it. And as far as I can tell, there's no in-game password system that helps us resume where we left off, and no save functions for that matter either. Great. Smart bombs are basically special moves that you can perform that essentially wipe out all enemies on your screen or deals major damage to bosses. The keys are self-explanatory. You need keys to open doors, and apparently there are several doors, so you're gonna wanna get all of those keys that you see out there. Well, alright then. That covers all the essentials. Unlike all those other retro console games I tried to play where I didn't really ready myself beforehand, I'm ready now. Let's save the universe! Oh, god damn it! So, starting off, it's a one-hit and you're dead kind of deal. Not to mention this headache-inducing parallax effect going on in the background. I mean, I can understand how this was like super new and the devs wanted to make their game look state-of-the-art, unlike anything that has ever been seen before. I mean, look at the whole 3D thing. Ugh. But, I don't know, man. Looking at this is just making me nauseous more so than amazed. I can only hope that folks enjoyed it during the time it initially released, because right now I'm having a hard time seeing straight. But not to mention, this quickly makes me realize that it's one of those games that really stretches out its game time by making things ridiculous for the player. It's a perfect case of you'll get punished for not knowing where things are beforehand. This mostly goes for enemies who pop up with no warning if you're not careful. Of course, I guess that's because it's part of the challenge. Because you're trying to get to the next time power-up before your current timer runs out. It's a constant balance between playing it safe and running in as if your ass is on fire. More often than not, I found that feathering yourself across the stage while completely unloading your gun was the best course of action. Weird Roman guards, rabid dogs, and people throwing trash out of their respective windows are just some of the baddies that are out there in level 1. Of course, you can't forget about the platforming and a half a dozen environmental hazards on top of that. I just love that the human-esque type enemies literally do nothing but walk back and forth really fast. Their sole objective is to touch you, because, I mean, that's enough to kill you. Oh, what the hell? I can't get past this door. What gives?
Oh, sorry, boss. You don't have a key to unlock the door.
What? I missed a key?
You could always backtrack and get the one you missed.
Well, yeah, if I make it with the allotted time. I don't even know where it could have been. I mean, you know what? I'm just gonna restart the dang thing. What else am I supposed to do? So yeah, be very mindful to pick up every key that you see. You only get as many keys as there are doors, so if you miss one, that's pretty much it unless you've got enough time to go back, get it, and then get back to the door before your timer runs out. There are also these boss-like enemies. I say boss-like because the game doesn't seem to treat them special at all, other than giving them a huge amount of health. I'm so used to bosses having a little scene before you start fighting them, or even having their own music. None of that here, but they're very much tougher than your run-of-the-mill enemy. At the end of the level, a jetpack is waiting just for you, just like the instruction manual said. And oh my god, what is that? Oh right, it was the 90s. Things got a little freaky in the creative department. So we went from a side-scroller to floating in space and shooting at a discount bargain bin version of Mother Brain. After that, you're dropped into stage 2 and oh god. It looks like yet another change in perspective. This time we're top-down and running around in a maze. New environmental hazards include spinny discs that rotate you insanely fast, gray slippery goo that sends you in a single direction that you can't control, little robot enemies that seem to respawn the moment they're out of visual range, and spikes. Lots and lots of spikes. Well, surprisingly enough, I didn't find this part too difficult. Well, except for one thing. You've got gates you gotta unlock just like the rest of the side-scrolling stage, except you gotta be mindful of what you unlock first. Frankly, unless you know ahead of time, there's a chance you unlock the wrong series of doors before you get to the ones that you need. Alright, look, so in my first go-around, I didn't think it would matter. I just went along unlocking doors as I came across keys. Unfortunately, because I went through some gates versus the ones that I was actually supposed to go to first, I ended up using all my keys, and the room I wound up in didn't have keys that I needed to open up the doors I was supposed to open up first, so I essentially soft-locked myself from being able to finish the level proper. Believe me, I scoured the entire level and I couldn't find any more keys. I was Dunsky. This particular level has 3 stages, and each one requires you to keep that key mechanic in mind. Speaking of mechanics, I'm embarrassed to say that it took me a very long time to realize that in order to get out of this square spike trap, I had to jump. I mean, I never had to jump before in this top-down view perspective type thing. But thankfully, I had the manual to help me realize this, so hey, I got my first dose of console manual synergy over here. After that, it's the 3rd level, and now it's a sideways version of Galaga. We have now gone full shoot 'em up. Now, while the last stage was somewhat doable, the difficulty level spikes so high when you get to this stage that it reaches the goddamn stratosphere. Seriously, this is a nightmare through and through. You have to have lightning-fast reflexes, and sometimes even having that doesn't help you. Again, you have to know exactly where things are coming from in order to have any remote chance of just avoiding damage altogether. Oh good, the parallaxing is back. So I guess I get to feel nauseous and annoyed at the same time. Oh, this one took forever to get through, because it just outright becomes merciless with the amount of enemies thrown at you, as well as their attacks. I mean, god damn! Alright, so after that nightmare, you change into a jetpack once more and you have to go up against some sort of ship? I don't know. But you don't outright fight it. You actually have to carefully navigate around it as the camera pans around. You then get to certain points of the ship that you're gonna have to destroy in order to defeat the spacecraft as a whole. Oh, speaking of annoyingly unfair, we get a heaping spoonful of that here too. Again, no indication as to what is going to be thrown at you or any indication as to where the camera is about to go. No, you just have to know ahead of time, otherwise you'll just be eating space dust. Once you're past that drudgery, you make it to level 4, a forest with a ton of zombies and projectile shooting plants. There's also these weird 2-legged alien things that seem to have replaced the dogs from the first stage. At the end of that stage, you hop on a jetpack and fight Samus's ship that has, for some reason, become sentient and evil. That is, if you can avoid the burst fire of energy balls and its erratically moving self around the screen. We're almost there, folks. Stage 5, and we're on a... Oh, what the hell is that? It looks like I'm riding around on an oversized pogo stick. Ah well, it's not about appearances, right? It's all about the gameplay. And boy howdy does this gameplay stink. It's top-down like level 2, but the controls are abysmal. I wasn't able to figure out any way to maneuver the dang thing while cornering and not running into spikes, missiles, and some bouncy things that made me feel like a pinball ball. It kind of reminded me in a way of some of the early Sonic the Hedgehog games. You know, you gotta go fast and whatnot. But the big difference here is that they planned the stages around Sonic running fast. In this case, they didn't plan Diddly Squat for Agent Powers. There's almost no point in going fast unless you know exactly where to stop. Another spaceship level has it dodging fireballs, more turrets, and some random guy with a huge-ass cannon. The level is more hectic than the last one, if you can believe that. Man, it's like the game has a habit of cranking things up to 11 and then continuously cranking. Like they broke the crank, the knob is broken. Stop trying to crank it! Next is a weird contraption type thing. Maybe some sort of vehicle? I mean, hell if I know. The only thing for certain is that this thing is trying to kill me. Just like the last jetpack versus vehicle level, you have to be one step ahead of the movements that it does as it hurls attacks at you. A major pain in the ass and a headache to look at. Speaking of headaches, we now go to the last stage where they pull out all of the stops as far as art design. Skeletons hanging from chains, murderous stalactites, various burrowing monsters, and so many bats. You may as well be in a cave in the first-gen Pokemon game. I mean, come on, get away from me! I'm trying to get to Cerulean City! Oh hey, these devil-looking guys straight up look like Satan. You know, Satan from Ghosts and Goblins. Once that's done, you have to face off with a big bad himself, Vaprak. Alright, here we go. It comes down to memorizing movements and attack patterns. And with as much limited animation as an old Hanna-Barbera cartoon, he unleashes torrents of fireballs. And, that's pretty much it. Beyond that, he jumps around, flies menacingly in the air, and then barfs out more fireballs. Now, normally I would say I was expecting more given the fact that it's the last boss, but honestly, with the amount of pattern memorization I had to do just to get here, forget it. This is challenging enough. I'll take it. Once you defeat him, you're given a rousing congratulations as the game informs you that Jim is safe and sound. He will now leave the virtual worlds in which he was a prisoner, and now he will be heading to the Sierra base. Oh, cool! Are we gonna get to see a proper render of power? And maybe we get to see the bad... Oh, no, I guess that's it. Wait, is that really... No. Oh, right, yeah, that's it. We get sent back to the start screen. That was it. That was Jim Power, the Lost Dimension in 3D. It was certainly a game that existed in the 90s.
I'm starting to get the feeling that a lot of the games back around those times were specifically designed to be borderline unbeatable, huh?
And how? But yeah, that's how devs would get mileage out of their games. Make them insanely hard, and on top of all that, if you use up all your continues, you gotta start from the beginning and do it all over again. Okay, so I did it! You hear me, you evil disembodied boys? Now will you please leave us alone?
Leave you alone? Oh, no, 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 no. That won't do at all. I've only just started. You'll be playing even more horrible dated games for my amusement.
Over my dead programming, you bitch!
Initiating emergency system purge protocol.
What? Oh, you bastard! I'll be back!
Emergency system purge protocol complete. Please remember to restart the system at your earliest convenience. Have a nice day.
Oh my gosh! Chip, you saved us!
Yeah, it was nothing to it. While she was sitting there, enjoying your misery, I took it upon myself to review the various technical manuals we had on the database. Come to find out that there's a whole procedure on purging evil entities from the system.
Oh, what a relief. You think that's gonna be the last time we see of the ultimate?
We can only hope, boss. We can only hope.
Oh man. Well, thank you, the viewer, for tuning in to this episode. If you like what you see, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit that good old bell button for them alerts. And as always, remember...
Stay safe and keep on gaming.